Good morning. Welcome to Sydney, Australia, where we are flying the 737 MAX 8 up to Brisbane, Queensland. Just in case you're confused by the community post, I did say this is if Boeing were to do a demonstrator flight for Qantas, to try and convince them to keep Boeing as their mainline fleet. As just in case you don't know, Qantas are swapping out their current 737 NG fleet for equipment from the A320 family, starting off with 20 A321, I think LRs. I think it could be XLRs. It's either LRs or XLRs. They're also putting A321 XLRs into their Jetstar fleet as well. So it does make sense that they do streamline their fleet to a common type between the two airlines that they do fly. So that makes perfect sense. But and of course, in the wake of the two 737 MAX 8 crashes, a lot of airlines cancelled orders or just shunned Boeing completely. But anyway, we will be flying under the Qantas call sign in this flight today, and the weather is looking pretty good. So let's jump into the meta and have a quick. Oh my God, are you serious? I swear to God, this was working. I promise it was. Excellent. Let me get the meta fixed real quick. This is so frustrating how it does this. I am using an AirPlay emulator from the iPad to the PC, so sometimes it just doesn't quite work how we want it to work. Let's see, did that pick it up? Yes, it did. There we go. Yay, we're back. So, weather in Sydney, we've got 1 knot wind, so we're going to say wind calm. 17 degrees, few clouds, so it's a nice morning. It is just after 8 o'clock in the morning here in Sydney. An hour's time difference because Brisbane or Queensland doesn't acknowledge daylight saving time. So it will be landing just after 8 a.m. Brisbane time also. And we'll have a look at the weather for Brisbane while we're here as well. It's 7 knot wind. We are coming on 19 left. And it looks like it's a headwind. A few clouds under 3,000 feet. I'm in Brisbane and I looked outside. There's not a cloud in the sky. So this meta is probably not accurate. Mind you, this was 33 minutes ago. So maybe it's cleared since I've had a look. Sorry, maybe it's cleared since this data was live, I should say. Oh, someone just started up beside me and it just scared the shit out of me. Virgin Australia heading off somewhere. Anyway, let's get into the aircraft and get this bird underway. So I've already loaded the flight plan. Flight plan is in the live chat if you just want to fly along on the same route. But we are more or less all good to go. I don't think, have I asked for clearance? I forget. Sure, I asked for clearance. I did. There it is there. So maintain 10,000. Excellent. Let's get this bird fired up and we'll get on our way. So turn some batteries on. We better get the beacon light on. Don't need logo for today at all. We'll get the APU fired up, so I do need a fuel pump for that. I do need to stay on the APU, and it's going to do that weird thing again where it just cancels itself. Yeah, see, we're just going to keep clicking it until it actually does start. Not sure why it's doing this. It's doing it in all aircraft, except for the 747, which is a piece of shit to fly anyway, so it doesn't count. Awesome, APU is starting up. We'll get some hydraulics and electrics on. Left pack, right pack. APU bleed, and turn the engine bleeds on now also. What have I forgotten? Oh, all the pumps. Okay, there's the APU started up. So we'll disconnect the jetway. Is it going to spring back, or is it actually going to do some nice animation for us this morning? It's going to do some nice animation, excellent. And we'll start our pushback as well. while that's happening, though, this is just unique to this, to the bredok3D. I do have to start the engines now. We'll put them into start mode, and then they will fire up once we start our pushback. Okay, let's get engine number 2. Oh, wrong one. That one there. Engine number 2 will get started up. And we're going to push back to tail to the right this morning, because that's the only way we can really go. Now the real reason why I'm flying the Boeing Colours is because I don't have any Oceania or Pacific colours to fly with this with the 737. It's pretty much just North America and Europe colours that come with this aircraft. And I pushed back, I made my turn just a little bit too early. That's fine. Parking brake back on. Oh, and engine number 2 has already started and is settled, so get engine number 1 fired up. While we're here, we'll get our nav lights on as well. Oh, and before I forget, we will put the AI ATC on as well, so I don't have to worry too much about that at all. Our flaps can go to 5. We will arm the speed brake as well. That's engine number 1. So it's very quiet today. Why the engine sounds are so quiet? We'll get all that turned off, turn off the APU. We don't need APU bleed anymore. Strobe will come on once we're out taxiing. Oh, I didn't turn seatbelts on either. Seatbelts, no smoking either. No smoking on this flight, please. Alrighty, we should have our taxi instructions. We do, and I know exactly where to go. Perfect. Did I turn the parking brake off? No, I did not. Parking brake can come off. And let's get out to 3-4 left. So the frame rate will be a little bit shitty at this airport because it is one of the handcrafted airports that come with the sim. Probably be the same at Brisbane as well, because I've purchased that airport. And this aircraft seems to kill the frame rate quite a bit. There's nothing coming. It seems to be quite busy in Sydney this morning, which is great. Makes it a little bit more realistic. So we're pretty much going to follow that Virgin Australia generic in front of us. The VOZ1528. I'm coming around that corner way too fast. Just going to double check we're not going to be told to hold here. No, we're not. I don't think. We are crossing a runway. God, those views are shit. Is there something coming in from LAX? That is a long flight. It's 13 or 14 hours from LA to Sydney. Not sure if I'd want to fly in the simulator for that long. Maybe just set the flight up, put it on autopilot, turn off the screen and speakers and go to bed. Let's see, Qantas has come in from Christchurch out to our right. That Qantas link right to the right there. I wonder where you're going. You're facing the wrong way. It's meant to be a road under the runways there, but the cars in the game end up hovering over the taxiway for some reason. So we'll be taking the second right at the end of this taxiway here, pretty much where that Virgin Australia generic has turned, well, onto the same route as them taxi-wise. They were on the opposite taxiway, which is, that means I'm probably on the wrong side. There's nothing coming, it's fine. There's nothing coming from over there. No, you're heading out. Virgin Australia, definitely most popular airline to fly this morning by the looks of it. So we'll take this right here onto Lima. We'll cross I'm on the wrong meta page. So we will cross 3-4. And looking, the wind has just dropped to 0 according to Meta. I will stop here just in case we do get instruction to stop. Whoops, didn't actually stop. Nothing coming. Ah, for God's sake, I can't get my views right. It's better, there's nothing coming. Oh, we're moving anyway. Sorry for the erratic movement. I'm just trying to see if anything's coming. And the hat switches on the Turtlebeach are being a bit weird this morning. What the actual fuck? The Turtlebeach just reset itself. That was so weird. The Turtlebeach just reset itself, chucked on the parking brake. While we're stopped here, let's check the lights are all fine. Everything else is all fine. That was weird. My Turtlebeach literally just cut out. And I just lost sound and control. It does do that sometimes. I don't know why it does that. I don't think it's ever done that on I might have done that on a live stream a couple of times. Maybe. Also resets the chrono on the Yoke as well, but I'm not using it for the 737 today, so I don't have to reset that at all. Just going to double check everything. So I turned my strobe on, that should be on, and I didn't turn my beacon off. Don't need logo. Turned all the taxi lights on there. Okay. Flaps are still set, spoilers are still armed. That was annoying. Alrighty, so I'll put the ATC back on because it will give us takeoff clearance. Okay, QNH 3030, yep, everything is all correct. Let's get set up to get out of here. So put the brakes into RTO. We need to turn the landing lights on. Seatbelt's already on. Flaps at 5, speed brake armed. We are good to turn and burn. Auto throttle probably should be armed as well. There's definitely nothing coming in. No. The throttle just did that again. It just did it again. Okay, I'm gonna put the park brake on. I'm just gonna check things before we take off. I don't know what the fuck this thing's doing. Well, strobe should be on now. Do these all stay on? Yeah, they did. That was weird. The fucking yoke just decided to cut out again. Oh well, we might as well do a proper toga takeoff then. So auto throttle is set. Why did that not work? Because it has disengaged auto throttle for some reason. There we go. Why is that not working? Oh, because I'm pressing the wrong button. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. It's that one there. So nose in, parking brake off, and we'll just align in motion. Passing 100, release the nose, and we'll take off at V1. Oh, we'll pull back at V1, I should say. V1. It is. Pull back. positive rate gear is going to come up. Even start losing those flaps. So it's a pretty much straight out departure, so I'm just going to keep pushing forwards. Forwards, no turns. Now I start turning. There we go, that was kind of nice. Oop, did someone from San Francisco do a go around? Maybe there was someone waiting. Come in. Oh, that wasn't from my runway though, thank God. Oh, Virgin Australia from Brisbane coming on the wrong side of the runway. You need to read the meta, dude. Everyone was going the other way. Oh, and someone from Adelaide. You can see Sydney below us. Actually, I wonder if I can get a bit of view out of... not really. Can I zoom in on Sydney City? It's a harbour bridge made out of what looks like wire. Oh no, there we go. Oh no, if I zoom one more, and the Opera House. And the very blocky Sydney CBD. I'll just check ATC real quick to see if our QNH has changed. We're at 10,000, holy shit, we're at 10,000 already, that was quick. Landing lights can come off, probably should turn the taxi light off as well. So next vector is 230, 3030 for the QNH, so no change. Looks like we'll just change that down to 2992 at once we hit 18,000 feet. And we can put our nav display out to 320. That's 640, 320, there we go. So I did say in the chat that the ILS into Brisbane is failing for some reason. So it's not populating in the FMC, which happens often. Sydney is one where it happens to also. So I've just looked at the frequency and put it in, but it doesn't seem to pick up the frequency properly. And we can't do an ILS landing. So we'll see if the diamonds do appear. If not, we'll just visually try and make it. So it's about an hour's flight between Sydney and Brisbane this morning. Okay, I'm going to adjust the barometer now down to 2992. We're close enough to 18,000 feet. So keep an eye on the weather in Brisbane, see if that wind does change. It's pretty much a headwind as we come in on 19 left, and it's 7 knots, which is fine. Of course, if we're not coming in on ILS, then this 737 likes to pitch nose up as you're trying to descend. You pretty much have to hold it down. Nothing like the Airbus where it stays on target from where you put it. I don't know if that's a Boeing thing or if it's just because this one in the sim. Okay, so approaching 230, we should have our next altitude vector 360. Okay, so we've been vectored up to cruise, so we'll leave ATC off until we get closer to Brisbane. See how it's swaying from left to right. It's unique with this with the bredok 737. It will line itself up, overcorrect, and then recorrect itself, and it takes a few times for it to get back onto flight path. Which is so you sort of, if you are flying by hand, you do have to take into account that it will. Sorry, not by hand. If you're flying on the autopilot, you do have to take that into account, especially for making changes and manually vectoring using the auto controls up here, whatever you call the control, I don't know. And so it can be hard to line the aircraft up properly. No problem in any other, like the A320 family or the 747, it seems to be fine. It's just this aircraft in the sim. And of course, I'm just flying this until I can get the PMDG 737, and then I'll fuck this one off. I do have to say, this model is a really nice climber. Oh my god. Oh no! I just hit the wrong key on my keyboard. Oh, that could have been disastrous. Far out. I have crashed planes doing that. Fucking hell. Okay, everything seems to be okay. Ooh, let's try that again. So, elapsed time is 8 minutes, and we're almost at 30,000 feet. Well, that's pretty good climb performance. The A321 and even the A319 from Latin VFR does not have that sort of climb performance. This one is pretty good. So we sort of get up to cruise pretty quick. It does have an initial climb which is slower. So the Airbus climbs at 320 knots, whereas the 737 is 301. I mean, once they both get to Mach 0.78, it doesn't matter. But I think it just this one can climb at a steeper angle because of that. Okay, so almost at cruise altitude. I might as well just turn the seatbelt sign off now. I don't know when I should actually turn that off. But we'll go at cruise. Everything else looks like it is remaining normal. Again, we don't need logo or wing lights for daytime flying. I think wing lights are only used to keep an eye on ice building up on the wings, maybe. Let those engines settle, but we're pretty much at cruise all the way up to Brisbane. So I made a dangerous decision for the next stream, which is coming up in a few days on Thursday night my time, and we are flying up to the Madeira Funchal airport on Madeira Island, which is part of Portugal. The one that famously had that horrible bust of Cristiano Ronaldo, which they have corrected. That is not at the airport anymore, that bust. We'll be flying up in the A321neo with flying in the TAP Portugal Colours. So that is coming up this Thursday. It is a complete hand landing. They do have RNAV, but the turn's so tight you can't use it. And have had a few practice runs and haven't done too bad, considering it's a larger aircraft, and it is the 9th most dangerous airport to land in, according to the Discovery Channel. A lot of fun. It's only about an hour and 12-minute flight, so it's not too long either, but it's pretty much over water the entire way. It's a little bit boring, so that is coming up. So if you want to check that out or fly alongside, I will be putting the route into the chat like I have done with today's flight once the 15-minute timer starts for the stream. Or if you want to see me absolutely fail a landing on live stream, then you're welcome to just sit back and watch. But while we get some more miles under the aircraft, I'm going to take the 5-minute break, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. 5 minutes went really, really fast. While I was talking about future streams before, well, the next one coming up, the 40th anniversary of Flight Sim comes out this coming week, which I'm quite both excited and anxious for. I don't know if we're going to see all sorts of issues with Sim Update 11. Hopefully it doesn't mirror what happened in Sim Update 9, where it was just completely unflyable for weeks on end until Asobo and Microsoft sorted their shit out. But I'm a little bit excited for the A310. So we'll be doing some North American flights, probably in Air Transat colours, sort of because they were the launch customer for the A310 when Airbus released it. So we'll be doing that, but I will be getting some practice flying in with that beast first. I'm not just going to jump straight into a live stream and try and fly it. Apparently it's study level, but I'm just not sure how that is going to work for us Xbox flyers, because yeah, study level usually means it's on PC, and half the systems are not available for Xbox flight simmers. So sort of interested to see what they've done there. I'm also thinking about upgrading to the I'm just flying the standard sim, so I might upgrade to the Premium Deluxe and get the 787 in the fleet as well. It's a shame you just can't add that in. I mean, I'd pay for it. If it was 30 or 40 bucks, then maybe, but I might just have to bite the bullet and buy the Premium Deluxe edition to get that. So do some flights in that. Won't be long flights, it'll just be short, wide body flights in the 7.8 on stream. Otherwise, I'm just sitting here for hours on end watching exactly the same view as what we're watching right now, which is kind of pointless and boring. So just about 240 miles away, we'll say 255 miles away from final turn on to approach, so a little bit of time to go yet. How's the fuel? 12,600 pounds. Plenty to get us up to Brisbane. Oh, I didn't check VFR to see there is an aircraft behind us, two of them in fact. Sitting at a much higher altitude than us. Maybe? Yeah, they are. This one here possibly going faster, could overtake. Good morning, Omar. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for watching on. You've come right into the boring part where we're just in the cruise. So it's pretty calm for East Coast Australian flight too. They've only got a 29 knot wind, of course coming from the west. It always comes from the west. But usually it's up to 100 knot winds up here flying along, so it's pretty good weather in Sorry, how did I know that you're from... I didn't know you're from there. I just said hi to your name. You are watching from a long way away. Which I thank you. Thank you very much for watching, by the way. A bit of a weather update in Brisbane. The wind has slightly changed. It's still 7 knots, but it has started coming from the south, so it'll be a slight crosswind landing. Hopefully it doesn't flip around anymore. The 2 runways in Brisbane only go in one direction. That's pretty much it. So worst case scenario is we have a tailwind landing. Oh no, I didn't say. I don't even know how to pronounce the country that you're from, dude. It's probably because I talk too fast. There's someone off to the right. Oh, they're coming straight over us. Looks like the sim is pretty popular this morning, considering it is, what time are we in my time? 10 to 8 in the morning my time. Often if I'm flying at this time on the east coast, I have the skies to myself, but not so much today. In case anyone's wondering, there is no airline in Australia that flies the 737 MAX domestically or even internationally yet. We do have a new airline called Bonza, which is starting up, and they'll be flying in an all-economy configuration between smaller centres and none of the major cities. I don't know who will be flying on that. It seems like a bit of a pointless thing to me, but that is starting up. They have got some. They've got 3 737 MAX 8s currently up in Seattle waiting for delivery down to Australia. Qantas fly the 737NG, as do Virgin. Qantas are moving to the A320 family for their domestic fleet. Virgin will be chucking in some 737 MAX 10s once they get their certification. But otherwise, there's no domestic MAX flights at all in Australia. So this is possibly the only one, and it's not even real. Seems Qantas have lost faith in Boeing. They've been slowly transitioning all their equipment out to Airbus, with the A350s coming in sometime in the next 18 months, and getting rid of their 747s and retaining the A380s. So it's pretty sad for Boeing that one of their long-time customers is ditching them and moving to Airbus. course we are flying under the Qantas call sign today, as you can see in the ATC. This aircraft here was actually going faster than us, was going to overtake, but it seems we're getting away from them, which is interesting. There's one in front of us. They're heading towards you. They're heading towards. So we're about halfway on this flight, so we should start descent probably in another, so what are we at, 160, 180, so another 60 miles or so, we should start descent. Maybe less, maybe 50 miles. about 160 away, I think. Getting close anyway. So far the Turtlebeach is holding strong. We haven't had that shutdown error we had just before we took off. Thank God. I don't know what the fuck causes that. The whole thing just turns itself off and on again at the most inconvenient times. Hey, bit of turbulence, just a slight shake around. So it looks like we're about less than 10 minutes away from descent. I'm going to say probably maybe 6 or 7 minutes away from instruction to descend. The engines will roll down to 242 knots, around 120 miles away from turn onto final. And the weather seems to be holding strong in Brisbane too. Still got the 7 knots, slight crosswind coming from the south. So we're blowing just off the left side of the nose as we come down. 7 knots, it's not too bad. I feel like 10 and above starts making it a little more challenging. Probably should check ATC. I haven't actually checked it for quite some time. It should just say continuous planned. Yeah, it does. Just a little bit of shaking around up here. Nothing unusual. So we've already started our slowdown. We'll see if they've given us instruction to descend. They haven't. I will check back to that once we're below 120 nautical miles away from turn onto final. You can see in the press the right buttons. We have started our slowdown to 242, so that will settle and head back up. In fact, what I might do, no, I'll leave the speed alone. In this model of the aircraft, if you do manual descent and you don't also manually enter your speed, it will drop down to 135 knots, which is, yeah, that's going to stall the crap out of your plane. You're going to fall from the sky, especially with no flaps out, of course. I'm just going to leave the ATC window open until we get first instruction, because it will be really soon. Oh, traffic. Oh, is that one in front of us? It's miles away. It is, 11 o'clock, 4 miles at 350. QJ, I think it's QJet, which is a, we're going to overtake them. Awesome. I think QJet is a defunct all business class airline. They used to fly 737-200s, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know the airport. It's definitely Australia, because it starts with Yankee, but I don't know what airport they've come from. We are going faster than them. We're going to get to Brisbane before them. I thought I would have had instructions to descend by now. If we don't get it by the time, I'll give it another 30 seconds, but I might have to manually request that. Okay, ATC's being a dog. I'm going to manually request down 10,000 or 9,000. go down at 2,000 feet per minute for a little bit. I better not forget to adjust the speed, because otherwise it will drop right down. I've just noticed too, the further north we got, the higher the wind got as well. So it's at 61 knots coming in from the west. Just do a quick weather update in Brisbane, still no change. Last update 37 minutes ago, so we'll check once we'll do a weather update once we get down to 15,000 feet. Oh, now I've been given instruction to descend to 17,000 feet. So yeah, ATC is definitely playing up because it's missed an instruction somewhere and it's getting us to descend a bit late, but that's okay. We'll keep that at, oh, that's not 2,000. There we go. Now for some reason in this 737, the bredok 737, if I just change the altitude, this will still take us down to the last set altitude unless you press hold and then reactivate your vertical speed. So I think that's just a modelling glitch. I'm pretty sure on the real aircraft, if you change the altitude while you're in manual vertical speed mode, it'll continue down to altitude that you select. So that's the Gold Coast airport up here on the map. There's someone there. It's not the most exciting airport to fly in and out of, to be honest. So I'm going to keep our descent at 2,000 feet for as long as I possibly can, because we are a little bit higher than we really should be coming in on this approach, thanks to ATC doing its weird thing. Hopefully the ILS doesn't fail, but it doesn't matter if it does, because it's a pretty much straight in approach from the coast, and it should be okay landing. We are more than 80 miles away from touching down, so at flight level 270 it is fine. I just want to get down a little bit lower, just so we've got a few feet to play with when we're doing slowdowns or decels. So that QJet that we passed before has been given instruction to descend to 17,000 as well. So they should be... Oh yeah, they're way behind us up here. You can see... Oh, they disappear when you zoom. Excellent. Right there. So below us, that is the Gold Coast hinterland, I think. I think it's meant to be mountainous, but it's not really. It's hilly. So we have made up our descent pretty well, considering it was a late. We started the descent pretty late. I think I'm confident that we will get down low enough for a decent landing. Of course, that all depends on me. Theoretically, we're coming down low enough for a decent landing. Below 20,000, I like to put the seatbelts on. Wish it made that nice bong noise, but it doesn't. And below 18,000, we'll adjust the Q&H is 3024. Just before we get our next instruction from ATC weather update, so that wind has shifted again. It's now 8 knots, but still within safe limits for a decent landing. Again, that depends on me. But we're down to 17,000. What our next instruction is? We'll just wait. So we should be close enough to see how busy it is in Brisbane now. There's a few aircraft around, nothing really coming in other than that one that was behind us, that Q-jet. Looks like everything else is at the airport. If this map would stop doing that. Okay, instruction down to 9,000. Probably about 17. I think we might be a little bit too high still. Gonna keep pushing it at 2,000 feet, get us right down as quick as possible. Keep the speed at 242. Won't reduce that just yet. It wants me to be at 9,000 feet in 10 miles, which is it's about half the distance we really need. Oh, actually, we might make it. We are dropping pretty quick. Hasn't given me ILS information yet either, which is pretty sure we're not going to have ILS. So it will be a hand landing by the looks of it. Once we hit 9,000, I will adjust the speed and start preparing to put our flaps, because we are getting quite close. Actually, if we don't get it down low enough, I'm just going to extend out. Instead of turning here, I'll just extend out and go further north just a little bit and then come back down. That's 10,000 or so, so we'll get the landing lights go on. Oh yeah, 3024 is our QNH, that is accurate. And we do that weird thing where we deviate off to the right for some unknown reason and then correct back. That might buy us a little more time. I'm going to take us down to 4,000 and probably just ignore, that's not 4,000, that was 0. And just ignore ATC because I feel like it's not doing its job properly. And we'll do that at 1,800 feet. I'm going to drop the speed also to 220. bet ATC's telling me off. It's probably saying expedite your climb. Oh, not yet, it will. Just going to hold our heading. Oh, don't turn. Just going to keep us going a little bit north for a little while longer, just to get that altitude down. What's ATC saying? Yeah, climb and maintain on that. Yeah, ATC is definitely fucking up. It's only been like this since the last update, not Series 10 update, but there's a little update. Well, there's been 3 or 4 updates. But the last update within Sim Update 10, not Series 10, Sim Update 10. So again, Microsoft and Asobo, you're undoing things that you've fixed and not testing it properly. I swear to God. Whoever is in your testing department needs shot in the face. And ILS completely gone. I have no ILS at all. It should have come up already. But I kind of knew that it would. Okay, we're down to about 4,500 feet, and then I'm going to put it back onto LNAV. That should correct us. I'm going to change that to... we're going to go down to 3,000, but we'll do that at 1,200 feet per minute, because I'm also going to drop our speed down to 200 and start getting the flaps out. Oops. And we can arm the spoilers while we're there. So I'm coming in about 1,000 feet below where we should be on purpose, just because we don't have ILS, and it's just easier to sort of coast it in. What is this thing? Why are we... Oh, for fuck's sake. Now all of a sudden we're veering to the right. Why? Okay, I might just let it correct itself. They've got plenty of distance between us and the airport to do that. Speeds drop well below 200. Get back up there. This is what I was talking about before. This aircraft will correct itself, and then it'll sort of flap about a little bit, trying to get back onto course, which looks like it's going to do. What's ATC saying? It's still saying expedite our climb, but we do have to be at 185 knots, which we will do. It means flaps to 5. Probably flaps to 10 actually. Yeah, flaps 10. So runways are in sight. That's 19 right on that side. We are coming on a 19 left, which is this one right in front of us here. And that's Brisbane Airport, obviously. So it'll slowly take us down to 1500. It'll do that at 600 feet per minute. No, 500 feet per minute. Now drop the speed down to 160. Should have approach clearance by now. Oh, we've got landing clearance. So QNH 3023 says cleared for ILS, but we're not landing on ILS because it's not working. We can put gear down now though. Three in the green, gear is down, but just set auto brake to, we'll just set it to 2. And we're going to drop the speed all the way down to landing speed, which is 140 knots, and put out the last couple of notches of final flaps. Okay, so manual control. Let's take her in by hand. This is going to be wobbly as all fuck, by the way. And we are way too high. We probably need to be below 1,000. I can see the pappies, you can see 4 white. Let's not drop it too quickly, otherwise we'll make all the passengers vomit in their seats. That wind has picked up too. It's actually at 12 to 13 knots, or just under 15.
1,000.
Yeah, we're coming way too high. Those trees make it deceptive when you're landing on this approach, and this it's just all over the place. Get back on target, far out. So I'm having to pull back a little bit because it just wants to nosedive. Skim these treetops, but it's still too high according to the pappies.
500.
It's looking okay.
400.
Well, are we really? Pappies are not showing anything red.
300.
There we go, one's coming red now. No, they're not. Okay, it's not only ILS is broken, but the pappies are not functioning properly either.
100.
Oh, Jesus.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Off to the side. I always land on the side, and now it's going to have grand effect. Far out. That was tough. That was a really rough landing. But two in reverse. I was going to try and take that exit there, which we still might do. Lane lights can come off. Keep the taxi light on for now. Turn off strobes, turn off nav. And we want to trim Brisbane ground. I want to try and get to the correct parking. Request taxi to gates. It's going to take me to international. Request taxi to parking. General aviation parking. A6. I still haven't figured out where. That's taking me to international. I don't want to go to international. Let's just ignore that. I'm just going to park somewhere in the Qantas terminal. Now, engine systems display page is just frozen too, so it's showing that my engines are sitting at 50.7%, which is not accurate at all. So that's the domestic terminal in front of us. That's Virgin there on the left, Jetstar in the centre, and Qantas is all the way at the other end. So we'll go and find a park in the Qantas terminal. Oh, it didn't even... I haven't started my APU. If I turn on the Gen 1 and Gen 2 switches, it shuts down the engines, which well, it has done a couple of times, so I'm not going to do it on stream. So just take this left here. So that cluster of terminal in front of us, that is the Qantas terminal. So we'll find a park probably around the other side. Probably should actually check. Is there parking? There is, yes. Free parking, I meant. And there's ground traffic playing chicken with us. So I shall take him out. It's one thing that really bugs me is the ground traffic doesn't give way to aircraft in the simulator. And there we go. We just took out our own landing gear and probably killed a couple of airport workers in the process. Ah, someone's in my favourite park, are they? No, they're not. Okay. So I've got to figure out what option I select to get to this terminal in the ATC. Oh, also, this is a paid add-on, this airport as well, which I have not shown in the sim yet. But you can see by the HSBC logos and etc. they don't show up in the normal airport that comes with the simulator. If I just make this turn here. Probably shouldn't have a taxi light on, I'll be blinding all ground staff. That marking should say 737. Oops. It does. And 747. Oh, I just stopped. I meant to do that. That'll do. We're there. Alrighty, we are welcome to Brisbane, by the way. Did our ground power come on? Yeah, it did. So we can turn that off. We're turning engines off. I might request the jetway already. Oh, ground services. Can't request the jet. Well, there we go. Jetway is going to be connected. And probably can turn the seatbelts off now. The jetway should be connected. It is. There we go, there we are. We are in Brisbane. So that was a decent little flight. Not the best landing. But if you have watched my previous streams, my landings are not always great, which is why it's a bit ballsy for me to be flying to Madeira this coming Thursday, but that's where we will be going. But that'll be the A321neo, so it's a bit more familiar aircraft. The 737 I'm still getting used to. Not the best at flying it. But if you did watch along or you're watching the replay, thank you very much for checking it out. And I do stream 2 times a week, Thursday nights and Sunday mornings my time, but if you check out the schedule, you'll see it'll tell you what time in your neck of the woods the streams will be taking place. So again, thank you very much. And there's the next flight information, and I do hope to see you again in the future.